Raise your hand if you live in a house or an apartment building and go to school or work every day in a large building. Now raise your hand if you're scared to even go inside of that building, since it could collapse at any moment. Isn't it crazy how much trust we put into every building we walk into? How we don't even stop to think, wait a second, I don't know who designed or created this building. I don't even know if there's a problem with it. Nothing. Here are some examples of architecture gone wrong. The walkie-talkie skyscraper in London became infamous for something other than its beauty. Unfortunately, the concave shape of the building reflects the sun's heat. The heat reflecting off of the building has been found to shatter tiles, fry doorways, and heat the ground all the way up to 117 degrees Celsius. This building has even melted cars down to their body frames. Another architectural failure is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge of 1940. The cheaper, low-quality materials used in construction made the bridge swing violently in strong winds. Even the construction workers named the bridge Galloping Gertie because it felt like riding on a horse. Only 3 months after the construction was completed, the bridge finally collapsed. The John Hancock Tower in Boston had many problems structurally, including the fact that the windows would fall and crash onto the sidewalk. Luckily, no one got hurt. There were over 10,000 openings that had to be covered in plywood at a cost of $5 million. This building also moved around so much that the people in the higher part of the tower complained about motion sickness. Now, for a more ancient building, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Tourists all over the world love this building, and it has been tilting since its construction began. The main reason it leans is because of the soft, marshy land below it. To prevent this from happening, they should have checked the foundation well before the 344-year construction started. In the 1970s, an architect wanted to build a skyscraper, but the construction site that he wanted to build it on was already occupied by a Lutheran church. Instead of tearing down the church, they decided to build a skyscraper right over it. The Citigroup Center tower was made with bolted joints instead of welded joints, which made it very easy for it to fall down. The Citigroup did not warn anyone that the biggest building on the block could collapse. They just secretly welded all of the joints together. If this building were to fall down, it could have killed around 200,000 people. The story became public in 1995, and luckily it was removed before anything bad happened. Now, just so I don't scare you off from being inside of this building, I'll show you some examples of great architecture. The Kremlin shows that world cooperation can achieve great things. It was built only in the early 1300s and needed renovations within a century, since the limestone started cracking and breaking. Multiple contractors from Eastern Europe came and helped strengthen the building. The Glass House by Philip Johnson is a beautiful and simplistic use of materials. The modern world has enabled architects to experiment and create breathtaking things out of simple materials like steel, glass, and wood. Hearst Tower was designed with light sensors to measure the amount of light coming in through the windows and automatically adjust the indoor lights to conserve electricity. Inside, there's a 3-story high sheet of water flowing next to the escalators. The waterfall, called Icefall, helps to humidify and cool the lobby, with water used from the rainwater from the roof. This rainwater also helps to water the plants in the building. Torre Agbar in Barcelona, Spain, has 4,400 windows, which tilt to block out direct sunlight and keep the building cool. An architect is in charge of building teams. Architects have an idea of how a building should work, look, and how it will fit in its surroundings. There are many different types of architects and engineers that work together to create a building, including civil engineers, urban planners, structural engineers, and many more. Every city has a building department with a set of guidelines that every developer has to follow. Once the city approves of the drawings, the architect and engineer are responsible to make sure that the builder constructs exactly what's on the plans. Architects love to get creative, and the more creative they get, usually, the more expensive the product can cost. Architects need to stay on budget or they won't make money. Sometimes they need to also be told to keep it more simple so the project can be a success. Architecture is all around us, and that is why this is so important. There could be something wrong with any of the buildings where you eat, sleep, or work in. You could get seriously injured just by being close to that building. I think we should make the building process and rules more strict to prevent any of this from happening. Many things have gone wrong with all of the buildings that I showed today, and many more, and we don't even think about them happening near us. Although the building process may take a very long time, it is worth it considering the failures of the past. Thank you.